Geometry 1, Chapter 2, Test, Skill 1. Be able to state the conditional statement, the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive when given a specific P and Q. You will not be given the definition of converse, inverse, and contrapositive. You must memorize these. So first, the conditional statement with P and Q. Typically we write it P, then Q. A P followed by a Q. The converse is where you switch the P and the Q. It goes Q, arrow, P. If Q, then P. The inverse is where both the P and the Q in the original statement get negated. So instead of P, then Q, it's if not P, then not Q. The contrapositive is a combination of the converse and inverse, where you switch the P and the Q, like the converse, but you also negate them both, like the inverse. So that's not Q, then not P. Now if you can memorize these, writing the sentences isn't too difficult, but you do have to have them memorized. So the example, let P equal I like pizza and Q equal I like tacos. Write each of the following. The conditional statement. So for the conditional statement, it's if P, then Q. So it starts if. If P. Well, P is I like pizza. So if I like pizza, then Q. Then Q, I like tacos. So the conditional statement is, if I like pizza, then I like tacos. The converse, remember that's when you switch the P and the Q. You switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. So it still starts if, but Q comes first. If I like tacos, then P comes second, I like pizza. So the converse, if I like tacos, then I like pizza. Next is the inverse, which is where we take the conditional statement and we negate both the P and the Q. So if possible, you put the word not in it, or does not, or will not, or if it's grammatically correct, just take the negation of that word itself if there's an actual word to describe it. So we start, if. Well, P was I like pizza. So when we negate that, I do not like pizza. Then, not Q. Q was I like tacos. Not Q, I do not like tacos. So the inverse, if I do not like pizza, then I do not like tacos. The contrapositive, remember it's the combination of the converse and inverse, where we switch the P and the Q, and we negate both of them. So if Q comes first, but we negate, if I do not like tacos, then the P comes second, but we negate, that's using the word no or not in it. I do not like pizza. If I do not like tacos, then I do not like pizza. The most important thing in these four statements is that they include the if and the then, and that you have the right form memorized. So the conditional is if P, then Q. The converse is if Q, then P. The inverse is where they both get negated. If not P, then not Q. And the contrapositive is where you flip the order and negate them. If not Q, then not P.